Harry Styles on what it was like to date Taylor Swift. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Hollywood Highlights. Taylor Swift and Harry Styles had a short-lived romance, but it's still one of Swift's most talked about romances 9 years later. In today's video, we are going to discuss what it was like for Harry Styles and Taylor Swift to date years back. But before we jump to it, don't forget to click the like button, share, and subscribe. Press the notification bell for more updates. Make sure you watch till the end. Now without further ado, let's begin. The singers are reported to have met in November 2012 with a snapshot of them strolling around Central Park, causing a stir the following month as fans freaked out about the celebrity romance. Now Harry Styles is pursuing his own musical interests outside of One Direction. That relationship has resurfaced. Their romance ended after only a few months, despite the fact that a number of songs by both artists left listeners believing they were written about each other. After a holiday in the British Virgin Islands together in January 2013, the pair called it quits. In an interview in August 2013, Styles mentioned Taylor creating a song about him. He explained that musicians write about such events. Fans believe his prediction came true because Styles was included in 3 songs on Taylor's 1989 album. Taylor also stated in September 2014 that she would not date anyone after Styles' death, and in October 2014, she praised Styles for motivating her to compose music. Styles talks out about Swift and their time together in an interview with Rolling Stone, possibly more than he has ever done before. Some things just don't work out. There are a lot of things that can be correct and still be incorrect. He said, "When I write songs about things like that, I prefer to pay tribute to the time we spent together, rather than saying, this didn't work out and that's bad. You're praising the fact that it was powerful and made you feel something, and if you happen to run into that person, it might be awkward, or you might have to get drunk, but you've shared something. It's the best shit ever to meet someone fresh and share those experiences, so thank you." Style and Out of the Woods. 2 of Swift's 1989 songs have been claimed to be about Styles, but the trouble is she's so excellent, they're bloody everywhere, he admitted, while implying that he doesn't know if they're about him or not. Taylor notably recorded Style as part of her 1989 album, which was widely assumed to be about him because of the obvious connection to the ID star's name, as well as the lines, "You've got that long hair, slick back white t-shirt, and I've got that good girl faith and a tight little skirt." Out of the Woods, another track from that album, appears to allude to the iconic aeroplane necklace that they both were seen wearing that time. Styles said, "I think about what it means to me to write a song about someone else, and for someone else to do it. It's flattering because he spent time on it, even if the song isn't too flattering," and ultimately using Taylor as an example, "She's a great songwriter." He added, "At the very least, they're good songs. The only time you really consider, is this song too personal, is when you consider, will this be extremely annoying for the other person?" He concluded, "Because I do care." Many fans have theorized that his song Cardigan was written about Has, seeing parallels between the song's visual and Harry's falling video. Style went on to say that Swift's songs are the most incredible unspoken dialogue ever, but that she's merely writing from experience, just like he is in the song Perfect, which was rumored to be about her. "I consider myself fortunate if all contributed to the creation of those tunes. That's the feeling you get, that's the hardest part to say, and it's the one I don't talk about much. I'll never tell anybody anything. That's the part where the 2 people are mentioned." Styles also spoke briefly about his famous Central Park stroll with Swift in 2012, which was the pair's second date. "When I see images from that day, I think, relationships are difficult at any age," he says, adding in the fact you don't really understand how it works when you're 18. "Navigating all of that didn't make it any simpler. To begin with, you're a little bit awkward. You're on a first date with someone you adore. Isn't it supposed to be that easy?" It was undoubtedly a learning experience, but at the end of the day, all I wanted was a normal date. Fans have often pointed to probable Harry references in Taylor's music. Taylor sings about a person who is younger than her exes, but he behaves like such a man so in one song, which many assume is a reference to Harry, who is younger than all of her exes and her current partner. The following hint is a little more evident. In reality, the lyrics to Harry's song Two Ghosts Say, "Wonder how many girls he loved and left haunted, but if he's a ghost, then I can be a phantom." In a cover interview with Rolling Stones in 2017, the Sign of the Times singer first spoke up about his and Taylor's well-publicized 2012 romance. The celebrity reflected on the moment he saw the paparazzi photos of his date with the Shake It Off singer, saying, "You're on a first date with someone you adore. Isn't it supposed to be that easy?" It was undoubtedly a learning experience, but at the end of the day, all I wanted was a normal date. When asked if he knew of any Taylor Swift songs about him, Harry stated categorically that he did not. He said, "I consider myself fortunate if everything contributed to the creation of those songs. That's the feeling you get. That's the hardest part to say, and it's the one I don't talk much about." Is Harry Styles still friends with Taylor Swift? It wouldn't be like either of the stars to talk about their friendship if they were still friends, given how private they have been about their past relationships. However, there appears to be no ill will between the two, with Harry praising his ex-songwriting girlfriend's abilities in a recent interview. "I think about what it means to me to write a song about somebody else, and for somebody else to do that, it's like flattering. Even if the song isn't that flattering, you still spend time on it," and ultimately using Taylor as an example. "She's a great songwriter," he said on a Stern show in March 2020 when asked how it feels to be the muse behind someone else's songwriting. "At the very least, they're enjoyable songs." The Grammys 2021 with Harry Styles and Taylor Swift. The Adore You performer and fearless singer made headlines on March 14 when they were seen having the warmest catch-up at the Grammys. The two were spotted in discussion for a few minutes after each winning an award that evening, and fans were relieved to find there was no bad blood between the two pop stars. Tay was the first person to stand up and applaud Has after he won his first ever Grammy for Best Pop Solo Performance for Watermelon Sugar, which we love to see. Taylor is presently dating Joe Alwyn, an actor who is acknowledged as a co-writer on her most recent #1 album, Folklore. The songs Betty in Exile were co-written by Taylor and Joe, who have been together for almost 4 years. Meanwhile, there isn't much information about Harry's romantic life. He was last romantically linked to American-Japanese model Kiko Mizuhara, but in the same interview with Howard Stern earlier this year, he admitted to being single. It's always a delicate balancing act, because you want to date normally but also protect yourself so that you can date normally. I believe that a large part of it is that you want to be able to spend enough time with each other to get to know one another before having to deal with the extra stuff. Taylor opened up to fans in 2015 about the anxiousness she felt during a relationship with an ex, and stated that it was the inspiration for her 1989 album song Out of the Woods. "Anxiety was the most prominent emotion I had during the relationship. It was so fragile and tentative since it felt so vulnerable," Taylor stated on the stage. She continued saying, "Okay, what's the next roadblock? It always felt like, what's the next thing that will put a stop to this? How much longer do we have before this turns into a complete disaster and we have to call it quits? Is it really a month? Is it 3 days or 3 nights? And so, I think a lot of relationships can be very solid, which is kind of what you hope for, but it's not always what you get. And it doesn't negate the fact that having a relationship that is fragile and nonetheless significant in that fragility is special and extraordinary." Alright, that's all for the video. What do you think about this? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.